I think we can slowly start. So thank you everyone for coming and thank you for managing getting in. We'll definitely check what went wrong and we'll make sure that it doesn't happen next time. So welcome to the first ever Community Chatter employee engagement meetup. It's actually quite an honor to be here and to be with Ladislav and Jirka, because this is actually why today event is happening, because us three and a couple of other community managers from Prague, we have this small community within community where we like to share what's working and what's not working in the companies that we're in. And we felt like, okay, it's time maybe to tell it to everybody. And just before this call, we were talking that this could become a platform for all the community managers or all the people that work with people in companies. So if you ever have an idea for a talk for next time, let us know. We have a Slack, we have a meetup channel, so we will share that with you later on. So who are the speakers today? So it's me. You see that I used to have a better mustache and more hair, but it's still me. I'll be talking about opening up your development team to the rest of the company. Ladislav Vasek from Wrike, who will be talking about investment in people so that you don't have to spend on advertising. And Jirka Necas from Productboard, who will be talking about the content distributor strategy and the ways they overcame barriers and bottlenecks in Productboard. Okay, I think we're in already, so I think I can take this question down. So I hope everybody is in now, but thank you for putting it. Anyway, you can ask any question or put any comment and we'll be getting to it in the breaks between the talks. So, all right, so let me start with the first. So I did my intro and now I'm gonna do the first presentation of today. So I named it, Make Your Devs Approachable, There Are People Too. Of course there are people, but sometimes, you know, there is this friction between the developers and the rest of the company. But I want to break this stereotype, or maybe support the stereotype, but also show you the ways how this can be overcome to the benefit of everybody. But first of all, I want to give kudos to all the devs that I have forced for public speaking in the past year. That's part of my job. I've been doing it and now I'm tasting my own medicine and I have to do it myself. So kudos to everybody. And I really felt like it was a master thesis all again, because I was pushing it towards the last moment. So I had a long night yesterday finishing it up. And today I want to tell you like simple trick, a little bit of clickbait, but a simple trick how to open up your developers to the rest of the company. And this can be used not only for developers, but this can be used for anybody or any team in the team or in the company. And it's all about cross-team communication and relationships. And I'm a big proponent of this. And to tell you why is this topic important for me, I need to tell you a little bit about myself. So, and this is for all the community managers out there or all the people working with developers. You don't need to have a technology background to do this. I grew up knowing only to turn on my computer. And I studied international studies and diplomacy. And actually what I do now is kind of a diplomacy. It's after all connecting people and businesses and finding compromises and making sure your cause is heard. And I started at Mews in support, and we were, now we are over 200 people, but we were a team of 8 people. So I actually had to stick with the developers and I had to communicate with them whatever was wrong with the system. And at the same time, I had to communicate why we are not building this feature to the client. So I was kind of a community manager at that time as well. And even though I was always told, you know, you have to be quiet around the developers, you cannot disturb them, they have work to do, I never really obeyed, or I never really care about this. I always try to get to the root of the bug. I always try to get the questions from them so I could pass it over. And that's where my kind of passion for connecting different people from the company grew. And after all, you need to know one another. it's as simple as that. Like if you work, maybe you are on different floors, but you still need to know each other to pursue the common goal of the company. And last but not least, you need to know other people's jobs and responsibilities as well as their pains, because you can much better understand why is your salesperson asking for this request, even though you think it's not relevant. But you need to know this, or you need to make sure that there is this right communication from the start on. And just an advice to all the community managers out there: you have to always keep in mind that no matter what, your people are your most important community. And I think this is something that Láďa will be speaking more in depth. So it's all about cross exposures, really, because we always loved cross exposures in Mews. It was always a thing. You could always spend a day in the other department. And we were also doing something that is quite unique, I would say, but the developers would spend a day at the hotel so they can really feel how it is in reception and seeing the product that they're actually working on in real life. And because not many developers, are world travelers, but this is really the place where they can touch and feel the product. And I guess the thing is that developers usually don't join the companies predominantly for the product, but it's for the technology. But still, knowing the product and knowing, again, the pains, and not knowing only the pains of your support person or salesperson, but also the pains of your client, really helps to build more, so to say, more relevant product. And allow me to generalize a little bit here, but developers are really comfortable in talking about things they know very well. So if you want them to communicate with the rest of the company, this is a great way to start, where they can talk about their own platform. And one really positive thing about working from home is that anyone can join this meeting between people. So it's really nice to see that a salesperson from New York connects with a developer who sits close to Kutná Hora on his own home office, and they connect and talk about things and they meet each other. So out of this all, we created Code and Tell. So that's how we named it. It's been running for more than half a year. And in fact, it's nothing more than a cross exposure, only in another team, only built around the needs or the strengths of the technology team. So how it works: this is a very simple to-do list, or how you can implement it very easily. Bi-monthly, we ping people on Slack with an Excel sheet that they can actually book an individual tech team, because although in Mews we have one large product that the hotels are using, there are many individual teams, technology team, that are working on it. So you can book somebody who works on payments, somebody who is working on the connectivity. So you as an employee, you book a team and a date. The tech lead of that team assigns a developer that will join this cross exposure or Code and Tell. And us as a community team, we assured a calendar invite. And then the developer and employee meet on Teams or whatever platform you may be using. So what are the common topics that are usually talked about? There is no set agenda, so it can be really various, but this is kind of a mix of everything that I've collected as a feedback from people. It's very often, what is computer science, or what are the basic concepts? How does a dev's day look like? What is the workflow? Maybe they will be finding a bug together. This is really nice that when when a support person joins or when a salesperson joins, they both have a very different, let's say, interest in the product. So maybe I remember that during one Code and Tell, there was even a feature request created. So there may be a pull request created, or they do a simple code review so that a developer walks through a code of somebody else of their own with the employee. And also they will talk about development workflow, but very often they actually realize that they have a similar hobby or interest, or they learn a new keyboard shortcut. Even though we are talking about connecting professionally people, this is still a very personal thing, and mainly in the working from home environment, this is a great way to interconnect people. So there are some pro tips. Start simple. Don't try to have it perfect from the very beginning. We still, after half year, we still have an Excel sheet. It's working pretty well. We may go somewhere else, but if it works, don't change it. 1 hour is enough. Even though people will maybe say that they would need more time to explain, you will see that people who are really interested in this will be booking multiple developers or multiple teams to make sure that they get the most out of it. Because for somebody, 1 hour with the developer is enough, and maybe for somebody, they want to spend much more time to really understand what's going on. Present it as a win-win situation in the company, because not only developer tells about his or her day to somebody else, at the same time, the other person is telling about their pains and about them facing the clients and about, for example, how much revenue are we losing if we don't have this feature. And also, the developers are all of a sudden forced to explain things that they don't have to explain anymore to their colleagues. They have to explain them in a different way. So it's again a better way for them to think about it. Don't be bummed when the attendance goes low. If you look at the left side, the first half is a May 2020 booking schedule, and the other one is October 2020. You see that there is much less people in October, but it's fine. There was a hype when we started, and then really there are people who are very interested in doing it, and that's fine. And reward. We have this engagement game where you collect points. So when somebody conducts a code and tell or a cross exposure like that, reward them with some point for that. And when you talk to the company, don't be scared of trying an unusual forms of promotion of your cause. So we created this supermarket looking flyer to actually boost the attendance and actually really help. So visuals help as well. But I guess I shouldn't be talking how it is, but also the developers and who attended these events should talk. And these are just some of the feedbacks that we have. So you even see that the developers can realize how messy their code is when they're actually explaining it to somebody else. And somebody actually learned that being a developer, 95% is just reading code. So it probably is not so difficult after all. And don't stop at code and tell with the developers. You can do sell and tell, which is already happening in Mews. So sell and tell is where a sales director is conducting a fake sales pitch, and the employees are employees like employees of a hotel, asking questions and really talking about the product from a sales perspective. We have help and tell. I'm actually attending tomorrow help and tell, which is spending time with the customer care, where the ultimate goal, after I believe 1.5 hours, you actually sit with the ticketing tool and you answer some queries from hotels or from your clients. And there can be pay and tell, with finance. There can be anything in tell. Simply, you can use this format for anything, and it's really doable with the working from home environment, because spending a day somewhere, online, learning what they do, that doesn't really work very well. So I hope I inspired you a little bit. This is where you can reach me, my LinkedIn and my Twitter, and let's see if there are any questions. Thank you for your attention. Okay. Oops, sorry. All right, so if there are no more questions, I will give floor to Láďa.
Thanks, Jan. So, How would you introduce a new player to the market? That's a challenge we were facing in Wrike, and that's because Wrike entered Czech market of labor last year, and it was not so much known brand when it comes to the product and when it comes also to the employer. So our mission was to introduce Wrike a bit more to the local audience and to find people. So I believe your first answer will be, well, yeah, I will need the money for that. Of course, like everything costs money at this time. So that's a thing we can definitely all agree on. But what's your options? Well, there are like many of them, but the first one you can definitely tell is let's pay some advertisements on social media. Well, here my answer is hell no. Like, why would you feed global corporates? Why would you give them all your money if you can do the same job with the different resources? And those resources are actually the best resources you might have. And that's, ta-da-dam, your colleagues, of course. Let's use them to help you to spread the word, and let's use them as the base of a new people and spread the word. So how, you might be wondering, that's the right question, how to use your people, your colleagues to spread the word around. Well, this was the question for us as well, where we were coming up. And as Jan mentioned in his presentation, the one of the parts where you taking your people into consideration is to reward them. So start at the end, create a reward program on all those activities which you would like to appreciate, which they can take care of on top of their activities. So we started at the beginning on writing the blogs because we saw that it works, that people are getting attention to them, and we would like to expand this activity. So we start to appreciate our colleagues for the effort they putting into writing blog posts about the activities they are doing in their jobs, about the new discoveries, about the hot topics. Well, but that was not enough. We also would like to appreciate people who taking part on meetups like me at the moment, or on dev events, on conferences, on other topics like that. So we decided to give them points for that as well. And then we were thinking, hey, let's expand it even more and more, and let's just appreciate people for what they're doing, and just use the budget you have, and instead of paying huge companies, pay your people, make them some extra. How it works in Wrike? Well, as you can see on the slide, we have some reward system for many activities, and our employees can join whenever they want. They can collect the points and then exchange them for some cool gadgets on some online shop. In our case here in Prague, they can exchange the prizes for anything on Alza. So we already paid some cool rewards, such as televisions and so on, to our top contributors, but I will get to that. And if you will open the budget to your people instead of somebody else, what you can get? Well, in 1 year, we get pretty nice results. Combining efforts of our Prague office and the Russian office in St. Petersburg, we had almost 60 participants in these on top of the activities. And we are speaking about 10% of everybody working for Wrike in those two branches. So I think that's pretty good. We distributed almost 1,400 of points. So that's quite a lot because there was a lot of activities. And our top contributor, our customer success management, Artem from Prague, he received almost exactly 95 points because I counted today, and today was the day he received 2 more points from him. And he's the one who received cool prizes from Alza. So it's very great and it's working. What we built on top of that, well, back to the social media, and we're thinking like how to exchange this platform to compensate paying advertisement. We created a social media challenge for November. This is how the challenge looked like. Basically, this is the screenshot from my slide, which I used in our Prague All Hands, and where I introduced this challenge to our colleagues. So what was the challenge about? Create the post based on the weekly topic. You can see the themes on the slide. Use a hashtag, send it to me, and you will get 2 points to your reward system. So if you will join the whole challenge, you can get 10 points easily. What I also did, I put extra bounty during the social media challenge on the videos. So I would encourage people to actually use video format, because we know it's booming. Even though it's Instagram short videos, even it should be TikTok, it could be short YouTube, even on LinkedIn, you can definitely see that video grabs your attention a little bit more than written post. So we use that as the extra bounty. Based on that, this competition, we got some pretty nice results, so let's get into them. We had 27 posts till today. This week is still going with the last topic, so I believe we will get to the 30. When I counted, we had more than 1,000 likes on all of those posts, so that's pretty huge number. Those videos with the extra bounty hit almost, like not almost, but more than 5,000 views in total. So that's pretty nice. And what's the best, all of this is organic reach, and not just like any organic reach, but also aimed to the right target audience, because our people use the right tools, and basically their peers, their friends, that's the target audience we are aiming for, and that's the ones we would like to introduce our company and the opportunities to work there too. Wow, you might say, that's pretty cool, right? And guess what? By the way, now you know Wrike too, and might consider it for your next job, because I just introduced it to you and it cost me nothing. And with that, I would like to finish my talk and get back to Jan, and if there are any questions. Thanks.
Nice, Láďa. There is actually one question from Honza, and I wanted to ask the very same question. And the question is, how many points are you getting for the presentation you just did?
None, because I'm the creator and I'm not eligible for getting points like that.
Really? But you're not part of the engagement?
No, I'm thinking like that's my job and don't wanna.
It's my job as well, but I decided to be part of it, so I'm getting some points today.
So I might reevaluate. Thanks for the point.
All right.
Do we have any more questions, Jan?
Nope, that's the only one.
Okay, so thank you very much. In case you have more questions offline, feel free to reach me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to help you with setting something similar at your company or just sharing the idea. I know that Mews took some inspiration from that already, so happy to help.
I'm just sharing for a quick while this the QR code and the hashtag for the Slido. And with that, we will be going to Jirka, our third and last talk. Floor is yours.
Thank you. So hello everyone, my name is Jirka Necas and I work for Productboard, and I'm responsible for our employer branding activities. And one part of the job is also like that we have to distribute the content and come up with some distribution content strategies. So most of us here would like to attract the best and brightest engineers, designers, product managers to our companies. But to do this, we need to position ourselves and our company not only as a great place to work, but also as thought leaders and pioneers in these fields. And so one of the most effective ways to do this is actually to do this through the content. And because like by producing the content, we can share stories about work we do, about the challenges we have overcome, about the technologies we are using, and about the tools our company use actually. And you can build a brand that attracts top talent. So I will be talking about the main issues we have encountered together with Tereska Macháčková along the way, and how we established a content distribution strategy at Productboard. So my presentation will have two parts, like how we overcome the barriers and blockers, and then how we established and our distribution strategy. So let's start with barriers and blockers. So the first thing was that we didn't have establish content strategy and all. We didn't know who is working on what, on which articles, who need help, who is responsible for the content. And when we managed to publish the article, for example, we didn't have promotion strategy. So it was really bad and we didn't even measure anything. The second step was that we didn't have the approval process. So when we finished articles, sometimes the articles passed from person to person for comments and for the feedback. And because everyone was busy, it took weeks, and it might happen that after some time, we forgot about the article at all. Another blocker was that about the priorities. Our people usually saw writing commitments as something additional to their regular job responsibilities, and they didn't simply have the bandwidth to follow through and write the article, because their job responsibilities, regular responsibilities was much more important for them and for the company. And the third one, that people were afraid to write or speak at the meetup. So for most of our people, speaking at public, so for most of the people overall, speaking at public or writing articles in English is definitely out of their comfort zone. So people didn't want to commit to write anything in first place, and often due to their imposter syndrome or that they don't have such a high level of English, they just fear to present or to write articles. So we try to find some solution, and then we established a content distribution strategy. So the first thing, we organized a meeting where we invited all the representative leaders to review the next steps and reinforce the commitments. And one of the most important things we did was actually that we put employer brand as one of our company shared OKRs. So right now it's communicated as a priority to everyone. And it helps a lot. Also, we knew after this meeting who is responsible for writing, who is responsible for the feedback, who is responsible for promoting the content. And as well, we set up new distribution channels. That means that before that, we used, like, for promotion, our Productboard official Facebook account, but this account is mainly target on getting actually our customers. And so it's aimed on product managers, and there are not so much space actually for employer branding activities. So we came up with new people Productboard profile and as well Productboard engineering Twitter, and it allowed us to target the relevant communities after that. Also, we set up a quarterly content meeting and end of a quarter content check-ins. So we defined what content, the content channel, when we will get the content, who is responsible for what. And as well, we defined the major topics we would like to commit to deliver each quarter. And for this, we created actually the simple table in Notion. But you can use like whatever tool for this as well, which is that Notion table is visible all the time, and we are using it as well, like during the content meetings to check-ins on projects and to have like more visibility. As you can see like that the first draft is already done, that it's already edited by our copywriter, or that we published that. And also you can see who is responsible for writing that article. So it brought like a lot of visibility and accountability as well. And another step was that we helped actually our people to overcome imposter syndrome, because as I mentioned, that it's usually like out of our comfort zone, like to speak at the meetup or just write an article. So we created the speaking and writers program to help them. And like we offer them trainings, opportunities, we have internal engineering meetups where our devs can speak about what they are doing or about their hobby projects. Also, we have Toastmasters. We have our copywriter who helps with actually with copy. So we need basically from our engineers for the article the main core, because they are experienced in what they are doing, and we would like to deliver like relevant content, but still our copywriter just can write and add additional value just to that core message, core what our engineers bring to us. And also during like onboardings, we encourage people, even in the first weeks, that we have community team who can help with these initiatives, why content is important, how the process work, and how we can actually help them to create impactful tech articles, and that we can as well help them with polishing the text or help them with the training and public speaking. And as already Láďa mentioned, we are creating our reward systems as well. It might be a little bit different, but I think I will get in touch with him and get some inspiration just for sure, because like I really love that. And so, and the last thing what we did was that we built actually engineering blog dashboard. We wanted to provide like visibility into the real-time impact of our content, what we built, and actually that we are finally measuring, and that we are using data from our engineering medium blog and design blog. And we got like really great feedback from our engineers and appreciation for sharing this with them, because right now they understand why is this important and how can actually help the company. And so those are the steps how we establish the content distribution strategy. And yeah, this is our engineering blog, so feel free to check it out. And that's basically how we approached it. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Jirka. There are no questions so far. I'm going to share the link, but I have a question actually. You need to stop sharing.
Yes.
I will take it. I have a question actually. You mentioned that you have these quarterly meetings. Who attends these meetings?
Those are basically all the people. We know that they are interested in writing the articles. So if they are already signed up in that sheet in Notion I showed you, so those are the people. And as well, there are our directors of engineering, our CTO, and so we are together like trying to plan the content. And because like those engineering managers, they usually know what cool projects our teams are working on and what is like interesting, and also who we would like to hire in the next quarter as well. So if we put together all those people, we might find out that we should, for example, that we will be hiring some designer for design systems, so that we should write during that quarter some article about design systems.
And how are you doing with kind of nudging the developers or nudging your people to actually write, to overcome? I know that you mentioned the Toastmasters, etc., but it needs to be more grassroots, no? Is it like that the CTO spots that somebody talked about something and then he nudges him to write about it?
That's basically up to us usually, that and our employer branding team. So that's basically Jirka did really great job in this kind of field, that she was like trying to help the people and trying to convince them why we need the article, what are the benefits, how we can help them. And that's how we actually do that. And as well, if it's usually like when I met, for example, our developer and talk about how we can help them with writing the articles, they are really excited that when I explain how we can help, for example, with polishing the text, because we have the copywriter. And so they are like even more excited, because when you are going to write an article, it's usually like, it will take you some time, usually like few hours. And if you can help them to cut off at least like few hours, they are like really thankful and grateful for this.
Right, there is a question from Anonymous to Ladya. Have you tried to work with their inner motivation of people at Wrike so that they want to share stuff via social media without the reward system?
Yeah, we did, of course. We sometimes ask them from time to time to share stuff on their social media just because they want. We don't reward everything. But when we want to do some campaign, which we would need a budget anyway, we usually put the reward on the top. But we still use inner motivation is the main focus for the people. So
I think also, if I can pick up this question as well, I think the issue now with working from home is that there is just so much going on online all the time. So I think when you put there some motivation, it helps definitely. But at Mews, as Ladya mentioned, we actually took inspiration and we started our own engagement game. And it's not that we would be kind of forcing people, but we do it retrospectively. So we check if people are actually doing it, and then we tell them, hey, you received points for the fact that you shared it. So it's kind of, it's rewarding those active ones, and then, creating the feeling that they did something on top and even got something in return. And
maybe I would just add to this. For example, with the sharing on social media, we start recently with the challenge I was sharing. Before that, everyone was doing that on the volunteer base. And what I can say that eventually we just like putting a reward to the active people. Like those passive ones, they did not join even with the motivation of the points and so on. So it's still rewarding the people who are active, who are helping you to reach out to the new people and who basically live with the company. So it's not like paying the.
I think this is very important what you're saying, Ladyo, because it always has to be taken as not compulsory, because it is always some extra work. So it is completely okay that you have people who don't want to be participating in it, but at the same time, you need to champion those that actually take the extra mile, sometimes even from their free time.
Yeah.
And I think this one is to you, Jirka. From Lauren, do you help people to choose their article topics, or do they usually come up with it themselves?
I think it's both. Basically, during those meetings, we are like engineering managers, they come up with some ideas, what articles we can write about, but then they are asking during one-to-ones their team members about like what topics are interesting for them and what they would like to write about. So that's basically, sometimes we come up with some topics, but usually I think it's like in 60% of it's that usually the employees come up with the articles and the topic for the articles by themselves.
Yeah, in Mews, I think it's twofold. So there are some people who are non-stop writers. When you check our blog, you'll see that we write a lot about Flutter, even though it's not the biggest technology that we use, but the person who works with it is passionate writer, let's say. But at the same time, then there are people who need kind of a nudge and to be told what they can write about, because they sometimes don't even know that the topic that they are good at is actually interesting for the public. Sabina, what is the connection and collaboration between community management, people, and marketing teams? So I think it's a question for all of us. So let's kick off with Ladya.
All right. So I think community management is somewhere in the middle of the whole company. It connects almost like everything. Yeah, like your job is to take care about everybody. And in my case, I'm like parked in the people team, because part of my job is community management, part of my job is employee this, yeah, how it's called, I just lost.
Branding, employee branding?
Yeah, employer branding, that's the right name. So it's basically marketing within people team. So I need to work with the resources from marketing team, collaborate with them as much as I can, get the updates about the product, because people are interested in the product, of course, and so on, use what we have. And then also get what the informations and collaborate with people ops teams. So from recruiters, HRBPs, everybody else. So I'm like man in the middle. And then I also need to collaborate with other teams. So IT, everyone which I work for, everybody which I need to like attract and so on. So community management is really, in my opinion, people somewhere in the middle.
Who do you report to?
I'm report to HR manager.
Okay.
In my case.
Mm-hmm.
Jirka, how it is in Productboard?
Yeah, actually, it works like pretty similar for me at Productboard because I'm part of People Ops team. And I like to say that the job of community manager is like that you are Ferda Mravenec or Ferda the Ant, that you need to know like something from all the departments. You have to know all the people at the company and also the processes. And actually you have to know, you need skills like for online marketing purposes as well, like with organizing events, as well like a little bit of PR and sales, because you are like selling not only your company to candidates, but as well you are selling the employer branding activities you need help with to your colleagues. But also it depends. So right now I am reporting to director of People Ops. But as well, because like I'm responsible right now for the PR activities as well in Czech Republic, like overall for Productboard. So I'm in touch with the director of marketing as well. So we have like regular meetings with him as well. And I need to be in touch with engineering as well, and with our design and product management. So it vary. And also we can share our experience as well, like from kiwi.com, because it was our previous employer with Láďa, and over there we were in our community team was reporting directly to CTO, and basically we were in engineering, just part of the engineering structure.
Yeah, and actually that's the case of myself. So I'm the only one here out of us three who's reporting directly to CTO. And the reason being was that our community, or the reason why we built it a year ago, was because the tech team was growing significantly. So we already had a huge team within a company. And at the same time, we still were looking for more people. So our community is very tech oriented, and the ultimate goal is really to show the technical excellency to the outside world and to attract the talent. But with the cooperation with the people and marketing teams, it's inevitable. If you don't do it, I would be basically breaking what I was preaching today about. So although I don't have people intel or marketing intel myself, but I have regular catch-ups with people in recruitment, with people in learning and development, as well as people in marketing. And if it is not, complete collaboration on some projects, we still inspire each other, and we still tell each other what we need, what we're doing, and how we can help each other. So basically this Sabina, which you're mentioning, community, people, and marketing, they need to work in one big synergy. And last question, which is for me: did Mews come up with anything intel by itself, or did it surface as a request from your colleagues to know other people and their work better? So actually the help and tell, it's only a transformation of a cross exposure we used to have in support, because again, support is a great place, or customer care is a great place where you can gain knowledge about the product and gain knowledge about your clients. So we had that before, but the help and tell only transformed into the online version of a shorter meeting. But actually, for example, the sell and tell, that came to an idea when I had catch up with one of the developers, and he was telling me that he would really love to see how the features that he's building are affecting the clients. Because he has never traveled really much, and he's been constantly working on some features, but he had no idea what impact it had. So then I was like, okay, let's talk to the sales guys, and they were very happy to do this sell and tell, because all of a sudden they can kind of affect quite a large group of people with their knowledge, and also it can work in their benefit. So it's both. It's something that we always did, and at the same time, it's something that we've heard from our colleagues that would work well for them. Let me see. There's something in the chat which I wasn't checking. All right, those were just. Okay. You are welcome on behalf of everybody. All right. So if there are no more questions, thank you very much everybody for coming, and thank you Láďa, and thank you Jirka for joining, and hopefully we'll have more community chatters in the future.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you, Jan, for hosting this.
Yeah.
My pleasure. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Bye everyone. Have a nice evening.